Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 11 Episode 16. As is the norm with all my videos, I won't be holding back on any spoilers, so please do keep that in mind. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Well, I suppose The Walking Dead's good run of late had to come to an end somewhere. I didn't like this episode. I think it has a lot of cliche nonsense in it. I don't like a lot of the narrative choices, and I just think it's a really kind of lackluster end to this third of the season, and I think it kind of ends things on a sour note. Yeah, I thought it was a really poor episode. So this week's episode begins with Maggie and Co on the run after they decide to abandon Hilltop because they think that Hornsby's going to come for them, and they basically rig Hilltop full of explosives and wait for them to come and you know, to blow the place up. And then they also find Negan and his crew who are hiding in a hole in the ground like a diglet. And then we have this kind of bizarre scene of Negan, or Maggie rather, telling Negan that she's starting to trust him. And I can't make my mind up about this scene. You know, on one hand, I'm kind of glad that these two aren't going to keep having the same arguments over and over. You know, I mean, these characters spent a lot of time together in 11A, and it just kind of felt like we're going around in circles. So on one hand, I'm glad that it looks like we have a kind of progression, you know, with these two, where, you know, Maggie's finally accepted what has happened and has moved on. But on the other hand, I do just find it hard to believe that Maggie would ever say this of Negan, you know? Hard to believe that you could ever trust the guy who killed your husband, no matter how, you know, how much good deeds he's done lately. And I just find that hard to believe, you know, especially considering that in 11A, Negan let Maggie fall from the whatever it was, the train car thing. And, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how Maggie fans feel about this, you know. I know it's been a week or two since the episode aired, but I know there's a lot of Maggie fans out there who still detest Negan and don't think these two, you know, should be friends. And yeah, I'd like to see, you know, it'd be interesting to see how well this scene's gone down. I mean, maybe I'll have to look on Reddit and such and see, because I've kind of stayed away from the internet for a while, from social media for a while. But maybe I'll have to have a look and see what people think about it. 'Cause it'd be interesting to see their reactions, because I can kind of see this being a kind of a controversial scene. Anyway, Maggie drops off Herschel with Uncle Negan. That's not right, but yeah, she drops him off with Negan, and she goes back to the hilltop to, I guess, wait for the Commonwealth to come and to make sure they're blown up, or do they have to detonate? I don't really know why they went back there. I can't remember, but anyway, yeah, they go back there, and the place explodes when the Commonwealth enter the building, into the big house in the hilltop. And then for some reason, Marco, who's been getting more screen time lately, you know, he's a kind of an extra who's been getting more lines lately, which, you know, is never a good thing. It means he's going to die soon. For some reason, he decides to stand up in the middle of the open, and he promptly gets his head blown off by Leah. And I think we all saw that coming, really. We all knew that was going to come. I mean, like I said, he's been getting more attention lately, more focus lately, after being absent for a while and not given much to do. And yeah, this was a stupid way to die, really. After Marco is shot, Leah then emerges from the fire of the building and hilltop, and I didn't like this. She kind of walks out of the fire, and it's like the episode wants her to appear like the Winter Soldier or the Terminator, you know, like a real badass emerging from the fire. But I just don't see Leah like that, you know. I mean, her entire crew got destroyed by Maggie's group, even though they were supposed, you know, supposedly amazing mercenaries or whatever they were. So yeah, I don't believe that, you know, Leah's this badass soldier excuse me, that The Walking Dead is trying to paint her out to be. So yeah, that felt kind of lame to me. What happens next is that Leah chases Maggie into the woods and captures her, knocks her out, and takes her back to her cabin. And I mean, this entire scene is just fucking nonsense, what happens next, because it's just so cliche. And so I hate this cliche of, you know, when a villain captures the protagonist, and instead of just killing them, they have to, you know, give a whole speech, you know, about crap, and they just talk until it gives them a chance to escape. And it was just absolute fucking nonsense, because Leah was just told by Hornsby to kill Maggie. Kill Maggie, bring her head back, bring the evidence back. She could have killed Maggie in the woods when she found her. Why did she feel the need to take Maggie back to the cabin and then wait until Maggie woke up, you know, only for Maggie to escape? it's just really lazy writing. It's really lazy writing, you know. It would have been better if these two had a firefight in the woods, you know, and I don't know, Leah was getting the better of, or they just had a fist fight in the woods and Leah was getting the better of her, and then, I don't know, maybe Elijah or someone delivered the killing blow, or Daryl came and delivered the killing blow, as he does, you know, later on in this episode when he gets to the cabin. But it just didn't make sense for Leah to take her back and tie her up and let her escape. It's such an overused, you know, trope cliche, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. As expected, Maggie manages to get out of the chair that Leah has tied her to. And, yeah, I mean, we get a well-choreographed fight between these two, but honestly, by this point, I was kind of past caring because I just thought this whole scenario was so dumb that I wasn't invested in it at all. I just didn't care. And Leah gets the upper hand on Maggie, and, you know, at this point, I was thinking to myself, I wonder who's going to come through the door and save Maggie. Is Negan going to come in and save Maggie? Because it was so obvious. You know, it always happens. When a character and protagonist is about to die, we often get someone who comes in to the rescue, and it turned out to be Daryl, who came in and shot his ex-lover, and he didn't really have anything to say about it, just shot her, and he just kind of moved on. The story moved on. It was kind of like, you know, when Morales got shot, he didn't give a shit. So, I mean, I like that aspect of it. Daryl would just finally put an end to Leah, and, you know, him being the way he is, he didn't get emotional about it or whatever. He just did it and accepted it. But I just think the whole Maggie and Leah setup was absolute nonsense. I also thought the stuff with Daryl, Aaron, and Gabe was kind of nonsense as well, because they're kind of being ushered around by these Commonwealth soldiers who, you know, obviously don't trust them, right? And the Commonwealth soldiers lead them into this kind of junkyard where there's like plenty of cover, and the Commonwealth soldiers flank them. They split into, I think, 2 teams, go either side, flank them, and then start firing at them. And it doesn't make any sense, again, because, you know, these characters, these Commonwealth soldiers were walking with them like through the woods and were walking with them for, you know, for a long time. If they wanted to kill them, why didn't they just shoot them in the back then? Why didn't they just kill them then? Why did they lead them to an area that had a lot of cover, that had vehicles that they could hide behind? Why didn't they just shoot them in the back? Why did they wait to lead them to this area where there was, like I said, cover, where they could put up a fight? They should have just killed them when they were walking with them. It makes no sense. And then later on in the episode, we get a scene of these 3 characters, Gabe, Aaron, and Daryl in the woods, and they all decide to split up, which, you know, bloody stupid idea. Why are you deciding to split up when the Commonwealth are after you and there's walkers about? And I'm pretty sure after Hilltop explodes, you know, Maggie, Elijah, and is Lydia there as well? They're like, yeah, let's split up. Again, you know, why are the characters so stupid this episode? Why? It's just like, you know, everything that's we've kind of worked up to this season, you know, this third of a season, it's just kind of been shat on in this episode because you've made the characters into absolute morons. I mean, even Hornsby is an idiot this episode, and that pains me to say because I think Hornsby's been fantastic. You know, he's been this real manipulator behind the scenes, you know, coming up with all these plans, and he's always kind of one step ahead of the protagonist. He seems to be, you know, a very clever dude up until now. And in this scene, he's just reduced to a comic book villain. He turns into Two-Face for some reason. He's flipping a coin to make decisions. Where did this come from? Hornsby's been a dude, you know, who thinks things through. He's been a clever dude. He's been a worthy, you know, nemesis for our characters, a worthy antagonist, and yet in this episode you're reducing him to a dude who walks around with, you know, flipping coins. I mean, he even has like a damage to his face where Daryl shoots him, which just makes him look even more like Two-Face. It's just so stupid. Like, I mean, I could understand if this was something that had been building up, you know, throughout the season, if this is something we'd seen previously, but it just comes out of nowhere. Like, he's with the Commonwealth soldiers, and he's like flipping a coin to decide where they'd be stationed, and even the Commonwealth soldiers are like, what the hell is going on here? Like, if this is something he'd been doing all season, fine. Or if we'd had a bit of backstory and him talking about a coin, I know it'd be cliche. Maybe he's like, oh, my dad used to flip this coin to make hard choices. Yeah, as cliche as it may have been, at least that'd be an explanation, right? But why? Why have you turned Hornsby into this? He was a really good villain, you know, really, really good villain. And then the episode ends with him going to Oceanside, like rounding everyone up, and, you know, to kill them, I guess. I don't know, get back at Maggie or whatever. And the episode ends, or the cliffhanger ends with him flipping a coin before it cuts to black and it ends. It's just so dumb. Like, one, I don't really care about any of these characters at Oceanside. They're all nameless. There's that leader lady there whose name I can't even remember. Cindy's been gone for God knows how long. She's not even there. The only one I do care about. I don't care about these people. I don't care. It felt like the writers were trying to make this cliffhanger similar to the season 6 cliffhanger, where there was the Negan lineup, who's he going to kill? And, this third of the season ends with Hornsby, and oh my God, is Hornsby going to kill them? Who's Hornsby going to kill? But it doesn't have the same effect because I don't know any of these characters. I don't care about any of these characters. Hornsby could gun them all down for all I care. I don't care. It's just dumb because what's going to happen when we come back, when The Walking Dead resumes, is that either Hornsby isn't going to kill them, which is just very anticlimactic, and you kind of think, well, what was the point of this scene? Or two, the show resumes and he shoots them, and does anyone really care? I just think that this scene would have been so much better if Hornsby just turned up there and he just killed everyone. He just shot them all, and that's it. End of the episode. Because then it would end this episode, it would end this third of the season, with us thinking, oh my God, Hornsby's pissed. He really means business. Hornsby is pissed. He's lost it. Instead of a dude now hinging his decisions on a coin flip, it would have just make him into an evil dude who just wanted to kill these people. Don't do this Two-Face nonsense. Where has this come from? Who came up with this? How did they not look at this and think this is a direct rip-off of Two-Face? How did they not see the parallels? Really, really bad. Really disappointing. Really disappointing because I've been full of praise for this season. I still think the rest of the season's good. I still think everything at the Commonwealth, 11B is good. I don't think, I wouldn't go as far as saying that this episode kind of destroys the rest of the season, but I am a bit worried now if 11C, if it turns into Hornsby walking around flipping a coin. I would admit, I did like how we see the Commonwealth during the ending just kind of storm into Alexandria and Hilltop, because Hilltop's still standing even though the house is blown up. They just storm in there and they take over the place, and the kind of episode ends with them putting their banner over the hilltop to signify that it's theirs now, it's their territory, and that kind of hit me hard. That kind of made me feel kind of emotional because Alexandria is our character's home. It's our character's home, and to see that taken away from them, that made me really pissed off, really pissed, and that was hard to watch. That was really hard to watch, and it changes things because it's been a long time since the characters in The Walking Dead, the protagonists, have been without a permanent home. I mean, some of them are at the Commonwealth now, but I don't know. Will they even be welcome? Those who are at the Commonwealth now, will they be thrown out? So it changes things. It means our characters are now kind of fighting for survival again. It kind of feels like we've gone back 5-6 seasons to when characters were trying to find a place to live, and that's got me intrigued. So I like that part about the ending. That that did hit me. It did have the desired effect, I guess, that the writers were going for. But the Hornsby stuff, bloody awful. So in terms of the rest of the episode, we have some scenes of Max going into Pamela'S office, I believe, to steal some secret files, I guess, which will help expose them and help Connie expose them. Max does ask, Pamela about setting up some kind of, charitable foundation because there's some excess of money left in the treasury or whatever. But Pamela just poo-poos the idea. She's like, no, we'll keep the money. Which, I said some nice things about Pamela the other week, but now I'm kind of leaning towards disliking her again after that. After she's just kind of laughs off this idea, or why would we give money? Why would we make a charity? I just think you're a bit of an arsehole then. Whilst Max is looking for the files, Sebastian comes in and he seems to be very drunk. And it's kind of a tense scene because you do think that Sebastian's going to find out. And, you're kind of thinking, oh my God, if he finds out what Max is doing, this dude's drunk and you don't know what he's capable of. Is he going to start hitting her? Who knows? I mean, it wouldn't be very clever considering that Mercer is her brother. But, this dude is a privileged arsehole who thinks he can get away with anything. So who knows? So that was kind of a tense scene. And as much as I detest Sebastian, from this scene with him and Max, I mean, he's an absolute state here. He's still being a shit here. But I did feel kind of sorry for him because he's talking about, he kind of says, oh, my mother's cut me off from my funds and why would she do this to me, blah, 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 which I do kind of think, really, are you this naive? Like, you're not even aware of your own behavior, and you're not aware as to why your mum would do this. I mean, you're acting like a dick. That's why she did it. But on the other hand, I also kind of think, well, how much communication does this dude have with Pamela? Maybe he doesn't know. I know that sounds silly, but maybe he doesn't know any different because this is the way he's been raised. Because Pamela doesn't seem to give him any time. And you may be saying to yourself, why does a grown man, need time and attention from his mother? But this could have been something that's happened his entire life. She to her, it does seem like her career is more important than her child. And I can't think of these two having one conversation this season, These two don't have a relationship. He does not have a relationship with his mum. They don't talk to one another. They don't talk, which makes me kind of feel that this dude was neglected when he was a kid. I mean, it feels like, he was emotionally neglected. I mean, I think, I'm under the impression that he was perhaps spoiled, given whatever he wanted and etc. But I don't think Pamela, gave him the attention and the emotional support that he needed, which is perhaps why he's turned out the way he has. Or perhaps, this is just me, making assumptions and I'm completely wrong and he is just a dick. I don't know. But I do find it odd that, a mother and son don't talk to each other. That we don't see them interact at all. And it does feel like these two have no type of relationship at all. And perhaps that could explain why Sebastian's such a shit. So, part of me did feel a bit bad for him this episode. Of course, that doesn't excuse his behaviour at all, but he may be a more complex character than, I've given him credit for. Kind of reminds me a bit of Troy in Fear the Walking Dead, because when you first introduce this dude, you just think he's a psychotic arsehole, but then you realise that he's from an abusive household, and you kind of come to realise why he's turned out the way he has. So maybe that's the same for Sebastian. Come the end of the episode, the Commonwealth newspaper or print something saying the Commonwealth are lying to you. I don't know if that's Connie's newspaper or if it's just like a newspaper they've made up, because I think Eugene says, not Eugene, or Ezekiel says that he's got some people who can put together a newspaper. So I don't know if it's the official newspaper that Connie is working for, or if it's just like their own kind of rebel newspaper that they've made up. But yeah, Max kind of slams it on Pamela's desk, and obviously Pamela's going to be pissed about that now, and we'll see what happens next season. But next third of a season, shall I say? But as a season finale or a mid-season second, third finale, whatever, I just felt this was very weak, very, very, very weak. Kind of echoes the feeling that I had during the 11A last episode 8, because I felt that ended on a very weak cliffhanger as well, and wasn't a very satisfying way to end those 8 episodes. And I kind of feel the same here, but this to me is more disappointing than 11A because the rest of 11B has been so good. I think I've said before that to me 11B is the most kind of consistent in terms of quality that the show's been for years, because it's been solid, really good kind of 7 episodes in a row that were fantastic. And as much as I love The Walking Dead, there are many seasons, even the best seasons, where you might only get 2 or 3 good episodes before you get one that's kind of just okay or isn't that good, but the majority of 11B has been very good indeed. And then this ending was just really bad, in my opinion. Really bad. Just characters acting like idiots. Just cliche nonsense. The cliffhanger, the non-cliffhanger really. Like I said, I don't really care what happens at Oceanside. I'm really pissed at what they've done to Hornsby, because Hornsby deserves more than just being a one-note villain with a gimmick with his bloody coin. He's better than that. He doesn't. Why have they reduced him to this? It's just so bloody annoying. Yeah, so this video is a bit of a downer, but I didn't like this episode. I didn't like it, and that's a shame, because I want to like it, because I've liked this season so much. I want to like it, but there's too many problems in this episode for me. I just think it's an absolute mess. I didn't enjoy it, and I'm really worried, as to this new direction they're going to take Hornsby's character, because I think he's been a standout of 11B, and it's going to be kind of frustrating now if 11C is just him. Oh, I'm going to flip a coin oh, will I kill you? Oh, it's heads. Oh, you're dead. Ha ha ha. Like you. Why have you turned one of the best characters in the show to that? Come on. Gonna get you, Batman. I know Two-Face doesn't even sound like that. I don't even know who sounds like that. I don't know what the voice that is. But not good. Not good, ladies and gentlemen. Not good. I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed, you know? Such a shame. Such a shame. But yeah, I've got Fear the Walking Dead to look forward to now, haven't I? I'm sure that will put me in a better mood. I'm sure that'll be good. Oh, God. But anyway, let me know your thoughts below. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it more than I did? What are you hoping for 11C? And, are you a bit nervous about 11C now? Or do you think this is just a kind of a minor blip and Walking Dead will be back to being good in 11C? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know below and I'll see you very soon because, like I said, Fear is back. Fear is back and I've got 8 weeks of torture now. 8 weeks of reviewing Fear, of torturing myself. So, yeah, let's see if this is any better, if 7B is any better than 7A. God, I hope it is. But anyway, I shall see you all very soon. Take care. Goodbye.